What is up, ladies and gentlemen? But most of all, you ladies out there, thanks for clicking on another episode of Break the Silence. I am your host, Cyborg. Steph Curry. What more is there to say? Split cap! We just got done watching an incredible basketball game between two awesome basketball teams, and I can't wait to talk about it. We're going to talk about a Herculean performance from Steph Curry, and we're going to talk about what we see from the Cleveland Cavaliers as they have had a little three-game skid here in their early part of the season. There's so much to get to because the Warriors have had a lot of concerns to start the season. The Cavs started really hot, now seem to be reeling a little bit. First, please take a second to like and subscribe to the channel. It is currently 1 a.m. where I am right now. I just worked a 50-hour work week, so I'm grinding. I'm out here grinding. So please take a second, hit that little button, help a brother out. But let's get to the game, and let's start where you have to start, with an absolute all-time great NBA player that we are running out of superlatives to describe, and that is Wardell Stephen Curry. Night and night again, we see incredible performances from Steph that at this point we have become accustomed to, but we shouldn't, because he is unbelievable, and the things that he can do with the basketball and the way that he can control the entire offense is truly unbelievable. It is not superlative to say that Steph Curry is one of the greatest offensive engines in NBA history. And what do I mean by that? In the NBA, in basketball, there are great offensive players. Allen Iverson, James Harden, guys like that. And then there are guys who the offense runs beautifully around. The whole offense revolves around this particular player, and that's Stephen Curry. He gets open shots for his teammates. He's a great passer. He's obviously a great scorer himself. But the way that the whole offense runs, it's almost as if Steph Curry's the engine for this basketball team. And he's one of the greatest to ever do it. And tonight he gave you 40 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. But the best part of it was in the fourth quarter when they needed him most is when he came through and shown the greatest. That's what Steph Curry does, and that's why he's an all-time great. But let's talk about this Warriors team a little bit, because regardless of getting a quality win tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are a very good basketball team, we do have a couple concerns. Coming in to this NBA season, they lost Gary Payton, they got Dante DiVincenzo, and the big thing that was being said about this Warriors team, and the thing that we were hoping for, was the development of some of their young guys. In particular, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, and James Wiseman. Now tonight, none of these guys were listed as injured. They were all listed as DNP, did not play, coach's decision. Now, Kuminga did get in for 4 minutes, but it sounds like Steve Kerr's maybe potentially just went away from these guys. And I don't know if something happened in particular. I don't know if they're just not performing up to his standards. But thus far in the season, they are disappointing from what we were hoping that they were going to be. Still plenty of season left, and we're not going to overreact. But that is the key thing to watch with the Warriors, because we thought some of their depth is reliant on some of these young NBA players, and especially as Klay Thompson has struggled. Now, the thing and why that's so important is because you can't expect Steph Curry every single night to deliver on this level, because there's going to be nights where he's a little cold. There's going to be nights that he rests because he's later on in his career. There's going to be probably 5 to 10 games where he has a rolled ankle or something like that, or is in health and safety protocols. So you have to take advantage of... So these young players have to take advantage of the minutes they're getting now, so that when Steph is out and they have to play a bigger role, that they're able to come through and win some of those basketball games. That's why it's so vitally important that these young guys develop. And the Warriors are not... They weren't an awesome regular season team last year, even if you don't remember that. Going in after the All-Star break, they were actually in those games only 2 games over 500. So To close the season last year, they were a little shaky in the regular season, but in the playoffs, they were unbelievable. And that's why I'm not worried about the Warriors yet. Yes, they're 5-7 and 0-6 on the road in particular. But when you got Steph Curry, when you got Steve Kerr, Andrew Wiggins is a baller. I think Klay Thompson will pick up. He's shooting like 33% right now to start the season. Tonight had 9. The fact that they got 9 from him, 7 from Looney, and 2 from Draymond Green, and still won this basketball game. Those are 3 of their starters. Truly is a testament to Steph Curry. And again, Draymond Green's a little overhated. He had 13 assists tonight, and people are going to talk about the fact that he had 2 points, which is obviously not enough. We'd like to see, can you give me 8 to 10? But the way that him and Steph's chemistry is so in sync, and the way that they play off of each other is really unbelievable. And that's where I think the value in Draymond Green lies. I don't think he'd be as valuable to other teams in the NBA, but with Steph Curry, they just seem to be on some sort of great wavelength. And I think that wavelength is so underrated in sports. Let me give you an example. The Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, were such on the same wavelength that everything Aaron thought, Davante knew what he was thinking before it happened. And that's why they played so great together and so great off of each other. Last week, the Packers had a game-winning play in the Lions' territory, and Sammy Watkins had an option route. He could either fade or he could run a little in route, depending on what the corner did. Aaron Rodgers threw the fade. Sammy Watkins ran the in route. They were not on the same page. That never happened with Davante Adams, and that's why wavelength and knowing where your guy's going to be, trusting where your guy's going to be, is so important in sports. And that's where you got to give credit to Draymond Green and Steph Curry. Let's move on to the other side of the ball, because this Cleveland Cavaliers team has been one of the most exciting teams to watch, in my opinion. Right now, they're 8-4. They are on a 3-game losing streak. They're on a West Coast trip, lost to the Clippers, Kings, and now the Golden State Warriors. Now, you are slightly concerned about a couple things, but overall, what you got to remember is that Darius Garland missed a lot of the start of this season. So this is kind of the first time that him and Mitchell have played together, and sometimes in late game situations when you're both ball dominant guards, you have to learn how to play off of each other. You have to learn to play together. You have to figure out who's going to control the offense, who's going to be off ball. Is it my turn, your turn? A little difficult. So don't overreact to this little Cavs losing streak they have here. I think that they'll get it together. Now, hopefully Mitchell's all right. Looked like he hurt his ankle pretty bad, but he did finish the game. So hopefully he's all right there. Now, the key to this team for me is Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley tonight had 20 points and 12 rebounds. I am so high on this young player. He's so talented. He's long. He's such a good rim protector. He's really, really skilled offensively. I want to see him involved in the offense, and that's what I fear a little bit when you have so many scorers on this team. When you're talking about Donovan, Darius, Garland, Karis LeVert, Kevin Love, Jared Allen he gets what he gets there, and then once you bring back Rubio, but Evan Mobley can sometimes get lost a little in there. But I want Evan Mobley to stay aggressive. I want them to make sure that they're giving him the basketball because he's such a great player. He's so talented. I'm so excited for the future of that man and to see what he develops into. But the problem with the Cavs tonight, they shot pretty poorly from the three-point line. And the other thing that concerns me a little bit with the Cavaliers that I've mentioned on this podcast multiple times is their three-point defense. Their perimeter defense is a little shaky to me. And the reason being is that when you're looking at this Cavs roster construction, you kind of have 2 big men and you have 2 smallish guards. Mitchell and Garland are both pretty short. Mitchell's pretty strong, but he's short. So you are now in a position where you can't really switch, and that's what a lot of the NBA defense likes to be predicated on. But you can't really switch Garland onto Jared Allen's man and Jared Allen onto a Steph Curry or whatever. So you have to then decide either play a drop coverage and your point guard will have to fight through the screens. And that's where it's so important that Garland and Mitchell are able to fight through those screens on a nightly basis, 2 guys that are not elite defenders. So like I talked about, perimeter defense does worry me a little bit with this Cavs team. But their interior defense should be solid with the 2 shot blockers in the paint. And tonight they only gave up 106 points. But the Warriors did shoot 42% from the 3-point line. Again, no shame in losing to the Warriors in Golden State. There's absolutely no shame in that. Cavs, we need to get our crap together here a little bit. We play the Timberwolves coming up. This Timberwolves team is a mess. I was way wrong on the Timberwolves. I'm going to be honest here. We're going to do some Timberwolves videos coming up because I think I need to admit where I was wrong. But that's all we got for you tonight. Man, that was an awesome basketball game. Appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Cyborg out.